Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures, and it's time for something I haven't done, well, just about ever. I have gotten over the last week or so a massive pile of books from Japan, and yeah, you can see this is a pretty chunky pile here. So I thought, what better thing to do on a Friday afternoon / morning / whatever day it is you're watching this. Because on Fridays, we typically put up these obscurities in literature, on obscurities in miniature, get it? Anyway, this has got to be some of the most obscure stuff I have stumbled across in the history of this channel. And I've talked before about doujinshi, which is like the self-published comics / art / basic pornography that many artists in Japan and, well, all over the world have come to dabble in. And I mean, let me make no qualms here. This stuff, there is a crap ton of porn of all shapes, sizes, varieties, and flavors. If you can imagine it, it exists out there. I mean, Rule 34 doesn't even exist when it comes to this stuff. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Obviously, I don't want to get myself banned from YouTube, but I also don't really have any of that. I like to go for the really obscure stuff. If you've watched enough videos on this channel, I often have a lot of like character model, design sketch stuff. I'm a real big fan of that. And so that's actually what I've kind of slowly accumulated. It just so happened that everything ended up arriving at once. So I thought, you know what, screw it. Let's do a haul video because, I mean, this is a big freaking stack. Now, admittedly, you got to be careful when and where you shop for this stuff. A lot of this stuff I picked up secondhand, places like Surugaya, places like Mandarake. There's a few eBay sellers. There's always somebody who's getting rid of old bits and pieces of their collection, but I mean, most of this I probably picked up in Japan and just figured out how to really maximize the shipping weights to make sure I'm not getting gouged too badly in that regard. Now, a lot of this stuff, I'll be honest with you, most of these books were like anywhere from 400 to 600 yen, roughly. A lot of them I got for like maybe 200, 150, some dirt cheap bonkers prices. And let me explain why. Because some of them, dare I say it, have scuffs. I'm not even kidding. So doujin collectors are probably just as bad, if not worse, than the typical American comic book collector. And so when you want to sell me what probably, if I go on like Melon Books or Toronoro or one of those places that tends to carry this stuff, and there are quite a few sites out there that you can pick this stuff up new, you're going to be paying at least 1,000 to 1,500 upwards yen for each of these. And some of these you're going to notice are really, really thin, and some of them are pretty dang thick. So yeah, when you want to sell me this for 250 yen, I'm all for it. So I've mentioned many times, I'm a big fan of card game artwork, and the just sheer volume of stuff that gets made in Japan for these kinds of games is absolutely astounding. I'm not even kidding. There is just a ton of it. A lot of this stuff comes from Rage of Bahamut, which did actually have a US release once upon a time. It was famous for its cards getting powered up and changing. You can see here they're both basically the same thing. I forget when the game ended service in the US and English-speaking world. But you can see like a lot of typical good girl art in scantily clad outfits. It's pretty typical of the style. But that's just kind of, you know, for 250 yen for this size book, I'm like, I played my share of Rage of Bahamut when it was out there. And there's some neat stuff. I mean, just from a character design point, there is some pretty cool designs in here. And I've always enjoyed the presentation of card art. You've got everything kind of laid out that you really need to be aware of and see. So that's always kind of cool to see. What year is this book? 2017. Okay. Some of these artists, I'm not even sure who I have a hold of. I often am one of those people that will just click through recommendations on whatever website I'm on, so we'll just roll with it many times. Sweet Red Girl. Okay, well, that's Pat Labor. I will be bluntly honest with you guys. I have not actually done much outside of a quick spot check to make sure there's nothing of super questionable content that's going to get me into trouble. This is Rokugaki stuff. Rokugaki kind of like is like scribbles, I guess. Sketches, rough work. I always learned it as scribbles, but very Toriyama vibes. And to me, it's always kind of cool to see the actual line work that artists put in there, and especially when we get to see the early design work. Metajon, I have definitely come across a bunch of stuff. Again, 200 yen, just from a design standpoint, because a lot of these types of books have various, you know, rough sketches, how they figured it out. I'm not up on my VTubers, unfortunately. But again, getting to see how the artists work, what they put into it, is always kind of cool to have handy. Especially for those of you who are aspiring artists yourself or want to get more into this type of style. It's kind of cool to have things like that available. That is a very artorious pose there. Again, one of the things I really enjoy is seeing all of the rough mock-ups, which we'll see plenty more. More my kind of stuff. Again, really rough work there is always cool to see. I've got a couple other Metajon books. If people are more interested, I will be happy to have this stuff more often. Now this, I don't even know what this is. It's recent work. I don't know the artist. My first thought looking at the cover was like Kantai Collection, Kankore type ship girls. But I'm not even 100% sure. I hope you enjoy this book. I hope so too. Actually, I was really interested in this one because the art gives me a very Arknights vibe. And even though I suck at Arknights, I did have the Arknights design workbook on this channel before. This is giving major... I can't help but think of Arknights. I mean, even like the design work, the little logos and icons. Anybody knows what any of this stuff is from, by all means, you are more than welcome to shed some light on this. Can some of these have a little bit more detailed view? Some of these maybe are more Path to Nowhere than Arknights, but again, I don't know what any of this stuff is. Maybe it is Kankore, I don't know. This is the whale. Again, very Arknights in its presentation with the various icons, but I could be totally off base. Actually, we'll come back to the topic of Arknights eventually. There's nothing in here about this. T. Shiba 1710. I honestly don't even know who this is. Remember when I said some of these can be really thin? It's like 6 pages and you're done. Girls in swimsuits are always a common subject. It is a cool art style, though. Let's get to the cool stuff. Nice looking bike. And just from an interesting design perspective, $150 yen, I can't complain. One of my favorites right here, Toshiaki Takayama. At this point, I think I have almost all of the TCOM books. So these are like self-published compilations of all of his work. He's got 3 actual books, which I've got too, if I haven't actually done videos on them all yet. But he covers a variety of styles, and I mean, it's not like... A lot of the Doujin stuff tends to be more like amateur artwork, but I mean, this guy's got copious amounts of artwork published across various games, systems. He's a busy dude. He's also a really good artist. His stuff can look a bit samey. I think these were in that Sengoku Battle book I had, which I have a video on too. I find his mecha designs quite appealing. I think this was 300 yen. So you can see here a list of, I don't even know, Luck and Logic, I've never heard of that one. Buddy Fight, Vanguard, Y-Cross. This one is an interesting one. It's all girl related. It's all like little cutesy girls. Except some of them are like in giant mecha. These things look familiar and I don't know what they're from. Granny Inc. Doesn't say which game they're from. They give off a bit of a Puzzle Dragons vibe. I was going to say, this looks like Y-Cross work. Yeah, not surprised. These artists like their girls that look way too underage, and I'm not into that. Not at all. Give me all your weird dragon people and monsters and robots. Absolutely will be there for that. A lot of cats, too. This is volume 1, version 1, I should say. I wonder if there's a volume 2. This one looks familiar. And I don't know why. Is this Kantai? I don't know. Makes me think Kantai Collection, but I have no clue. That's half the fun of this stuff. Pixelphilia. Pixelphilia actually has done a lot of stuff, and I think they've put out probably about 30 of these things. I actually do have quite a few of them. We'll have to save those for another video. This one I did not have. It was interesting to see that we have kind of like a manga story in the middle of it, minus all of the dialogue, and then a few little pictures in the back, but nothing that we usually see with the Pixelphilia stuff. It's a bit short too, which was disappointing. Usually, the Pixelphilia stuff, I'll probably do a video just on this. I've got a few. It's usually like the frame arms girls. I think he actually did some of the illustrations for that. They tend to be a lot of, you know, girls in armor and junk like that. Shonen Shoujotai. Again, very Arknights looking artwork, but I'm pretty sure this is all original stuff. I say that, but then I see a copyright down here at the bottom, so I could be just making stuff up. It looks like Okita Soji. Yeah, that's Fate stuff. Back to their originals. This is an interesting one. I might have to look for some more of their stuff. Alphaville. I've got volume 1 somewhere. We can talk about volume 1. Another of these artists that's doing a lot of, you know, card game character art. Looks like buddy fight type stuff. I'm going to say this looks like Three Kingdoms or Sengoku era Sega stuff, but Sega's made a lot of card games themselves. It's kind of cool. It's not a card game without a bunch of old Chinese guys. Good old Ma Chao. The colors on this one remind me of like Shiro's armor whenever he's doing it. Like I said, infantilized girls in scantily clad clothes, but at least the other one is dressed a little bit better. Game doesn't look familiar. Corpse Corgi. It's just a corpse dog, I'm sorry. See, I like the really elaborate artwork. If you're going to give me the, you know, well-endowed ladies, at least give them cool-looking outfits. Over-the-top elaborate armor? Oh, right. Oh, there's what's your name from Grand Blue. Katrina, right? I think. Yeah, okay. Katrina's down there. See? This is actually from that Rage of Bahamut as well. Actually, a lot of the Cygames characters started off in their old card games before they branched out into other stuff. This is volume 2. All right, now we get into the really cool stuff. And that's not cool, I guess. So, one of the things that I'm really, really fond of is hunting down old mecha stuff. Now, this is Rallyworks or Windfall Design Works. They tend to put out their own little mech design books. So this is all original stuff. There's CG, there's line art, there's me trying to knock over my coffee cup here, rough sketches, part breakdown. This is the Nursery 01. Come on, who doesn't love this kind of, it's like mecha porn. Breakdown of how everything goes together. As somebody who grew up looking at old, were those the Jane's books with all the fighting ships and airplane schematics and the breakdowns of how all the interiors worked, this is just like nostalgia for me. Some nice cell art. This had a cover price of 400 yen. I didn't pay that. Another one of theirs. And I love getting original designs. And to me, this is like the thrill of the hunt. You want to talk about obscure stuff. I don't need my fate porn. Of which, if you want some, there's plenty out there of it. No, I want to see all my cool mecha designs. So, like, I don't even know what the part breakdown is for here. Is it, like, for, like, concepting out how to build a transforming model kit or something? I don't even know. But I'm here for it. Skipping pages, that's okay. The THI journals, I've got a couple of these too. If you guys are more interested, we can always pull those out. This stands for Takamura Heavy Industries, and much like the Windfall Rallyworks books, it's all original mechs. Now, are they derivative of others? Absolutely. Do regular copyrighted stuff end up in these sometimes? You betcha, but that's the joy of these types of books. They are kind of in this weird gray area where you can only really buy these when they are published. They have set print runs, and you know, you just got to know where to look and what to find. And honestly, that's the biggest challenge with this stuff. You get breakdowns of all the weapons, and it just, I love that kind of stuff. You even get the girly version. This one was interesting because while you got your overly voluptuous ladies, this artist seems to really enjoy spending a lot of times with half-naked, muscular men. But you know what? Hey, we all gotta eat, right? The ladies are just as thirsty as the men. I gotta say, this dude's pretty equal opportunity when it comes to the beautiful people. Last Chronicle. That's one I haven't... Chain Chronicle. That's a name I haven't heard in a while. Oh, crap. Kiriko Yumeji. Now, this dude put out a comic that actually got translated by Tokyo Pop way back in the day. Something Chevalier. I don't remember the title, but Kiriko Yumeji. If you want to go look for it, it was like about this guy who dressed up as his sister or as a woman and fought like demons in like Revolutionary era France or something. It's wild. This guy pushes the boundaries of what you can really get away with in terms of scantily clad ladies, and he likes them big and he likes them thick. Now, this one seems to be more original stuff. I've got a couple other books by him, and it was more like just traditional characters that we've already seen in, you know, just typical IP, showing off what you like. Like I said, we're going to push the limits of what we can get away with. And then he has the most ripped out... I gotta say, he's got some of the coolest looking samurai men in these games that's out there. And I love the fact that he often has these really rough pages showing what everything's like. And sometimes you even get little postcards included. That's always nice. It's kind of nice to see the early version versus the finished version. I've seen that piece somewhere before. I don't remember where. I like the colors, actually. Oh, seaweed. Now, this is an artist that does a lot of card game artwork and has a thing about... Oh, that's kind of nice. Burly, well, just burly men in general in tight clothes, but also dragon men. I've noticed that. So, if you're into the whole kimono thing of the more animalistic people, this dude's got you covered in very interesting ways. And I'm going to leave it at that. Yeah. Dude is a good artist, though. And again, I think this book was 400 yen. You never go wrong with giant mechs. Oh, this is a VTuber character. Oh, okay. Noden's fan art. I think that's from Tokyo. Yeah, it says right here. Tokyo After School Summoners. Okay. I see where you're going with this, my friend. Your fan art where he keeps getting less and less dressed. Interesting. I'm wondering if he actually did these. This is for some kind of a game. Gives off that, almost looks like Robin mask. First thought was like puzzle dragons. Mech versions. That looks familiar and I don't know why. Clocking in this one at almost 60 pages, that's kind of cool. 400 yen, not bad, can't complain. Valkyries. Mech Girls. 100 yen. Not bad. Now we're getting into the real good stuff. I saved all of the monster and mecha for the bottom of the pile. And if you're still with me at this point, kudos to you. So Composite Cell is a group of illustrators that do all of these SD Gundam style Super Robot Wars-esque illustrations. Now the books unfortunately aren't very thick, but I really have always been a big fan of this style of art. That thing looks familiar too, and I can't place where I've seen it. I don't remember which series it's from, but some of these are, you can see there's just a large variety of very different stuff. I want to say they've probably put out about 8 or 9 of these at this point, and then we're not even in Gundam territory anymore. We're going full Zoids. SD Zoids. Why not? Super Robot Wars Zoids. I think Zoids were in Super. And now we're just into Sentai land. Okay, that's kind of cool. Code Geass. Big Powered. Something that looks familiar and I can't place what it is. I'm sure most Americans can recognize that. Now we're at Transformers, because why not? And what looks to be something from... Is that Pacific Rim? I don't even know. Is that Fortress Maximus? And some random little girly things, because why not? I might look for some more of this good dude stuff. Now here's a really weird one. It is based on the Pretty Cure. That's what the GPQ. Gundam Pretty Cure 0083. So we're going to take everything from 83 and we're going to turn it into magical transforming anime girls. Do you want your Gundams to be magical transforming anime girls? Because this is what you get with Core Fighter variants as well, because you have to have GP02. Notice that the boosters have now become her big giant pigtails. I don't remember which Pretty Cure show this was. My daughter watched most of them. The evil black one becomes the Geber Tetra. Okay. The 01. No, I don't remember them having any kind of armor like that in the 83 years, but I'll allow it. When you gotta have your Pretty Cure robots combined together. So random. I actually have a few of these. My daughter recognized most of them as well, which was kind of funny. Super silhouette. Okay, the Denobrium looks the same. I'm not usually a fan of the, kind of young girl art, but I really like when we have crazy, over-elaborate, decorated weapon holders. Manga. Weapons and stuff. Okay, here's one where they went and took a lot of the old SD Gundams and then turned them into full-size artwork. Again, this one, I think I actually had that guy. Again, there's some really neat designs to be seen here in these books. One thing that I'm currently hunting for now is similar to this, but except with the Mega Man or Rockman style stuff. It's out there, it's just a matter of finding it. Both of these are kind of interesting. Obviously, Eclipse, okay. Providence is what I was thinking of. Chocolate. That's from Wataru. We're making full-size stuff of Wataru characters now. And now we're going to have SD Jakins. Done up like Pat Labor. At first I thought that was Pat. Nope, that is not Pat Labor, that is a Jakin. From Char's Counterattack. Kikayo. Name sounds familiar and I don't know why. Okay, Metal Gear. Chainsaw 24. Where's the binding? Okay, now this one was... Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. This was made up with these characters. So this artist has done a few books with their Chainsaw characters. But now we've done it in pixel video game mode that doesn't exist with a breakdown of how everything plays out. Because why not, right? We get the characters' profiles, we get all their weapon displays. Again, I have a fondness for over-elaborate sword holders and details on their underwear. Okay. This looks like the girl in the other book. It might be. More fun screenshots. Now we're getting to a guy I really like. Kuramachi Zukan, or Kuramachi Kyoryu is another title. This guy used to work for the company that makes the suit designs for Toei's various Super Sentai shows. But he went solo and basically spends all his free time designing crazy Gundam-styled robots. Because why not? Again, that's where, for me, the real fun is in hunting this stuff down. Viper that transforms into a giant gun. Okay, Cobra, I mean. I don't even know my snakes. And these are all originals. Sometimes you'll see popular robots show up in these. Now, this is a crazy one. Same artist. I just came across this one, actually. This is from 2023. So it's relatively recent. The artist took the operators from Arknights and turned them into giant robots. Because why not, right? We've got Amiya here. Some of these I can see it. Some of these I'm questioning their choices of Meg Designs, Texas. If you're a fan of Arknights. Platina. Now, some of the characters do have different names in Japanese, so it's tough to say who's who. Franca? I don't know. Amiya when she gets powered up. Suzerain. The little stick. My Lady Blemishine with her big golden mane of hair. Golden Glow, one of my top operators. This one I couldn't see, but I guess if we're going for like an Armored Core style vibe, and she's got the little bits that she shoots out all over the screen. Spot. Aurora. Saria. Whispering. Shannon Lens. I don't know who that is. Skaji. Skaji. Is that the girl, the wolf girl with the weird sword with the extra blades? I don't remember. I know Njal. I could see that. You got the hair, shields and stuff. Afida. I don't know who that is. Okay, Reed I can recognize. Dragon dude with the flaming tail. Interesting version of W. W being like one of the best snipers in the game. Weird stuff. There's actually a lot of these types as well. Been trying to hunt down more of the monster manual type books. Of which I know this artist has done quite a few actual published books, not just these fun kind of fanzine type. I mean, for fanzines, these have pretty nice production values. Wrap things up with another Kyoryu Zukan one. This book is all original designs, I believe. Not as much of the line art. I want to say this guy was actually involved designing a lot of the frame arms robots. They're not showing up in this book necessarily, but they are out there. Some of the random stuff in the back. All sorts of fun designs. So yeah, like I said, there's a ton of this stuff out there, but separating the wheat from the chaff is always the challenge. So any questions, any comments, by all means, drop them down in those comments below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see more of this stuff, by all means, I can put some more up, and I guess maybe I can stick some on what's it called, Discord, if you guys really want, and hopefully maybe learn something new. So with that said then, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here soon. Bye bye.